Coach Maynor. Go ahead, Brian, start.
Matt, I know you've been kind of harping on turnovers. Just what can you say about the turnovers?
Yeah, I got to do a better job. Had about 3 possessions in the last 8-10 minutes of the game, just feeding the post.
Yeah.
Being able to deliver. They poked at it a couple times, got around us a couple times. You got to see the defense when you're passing. A couple of those, I don't think the decisions were terrible. You just have to be able to deliver and pass and catch. But then, what it comes down to is, our inability to guard. And then they got some open looks and knocked them down, and we didn't. Like, Braden was really setting us up. Braden had a lot of really nice passes and wide open shots that you got to be able to make. But 88 points is enough to win a game.
Is there something they do in their post D? They've gotten a lot of post-entry turnovers off for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Is there something different they do that?
Not really.
Struggle? No.
Yeah, they fouled our big guy 15 times. And then we actually had refs this year that called it. It was pretty cool. Yeah. So I thought it was equal because we kept fouling Boo driving, and you just can't. We're had the fewest amount of fouls in the country last year. And so when you work really hard on not fouling and you're fouling him, you're just you're letting him get his head up. But hats off to him. He has 31, 9, 0 turnovers. He was magnificent. He was great.
Seemed like you threw a lot of different guys at him. Ethan, Lance, Cam. Were you just trying to find anybody that could stick with him there?
Yeah, but we also were hurting ourselves. We're up 1 in transition under a minute, and we get that foul in the open court, and we're fortunate he misses one of them. But yeah, trying to find somebody that could guard him and keep him in front.
How do you feel about your foul shooting?
What's that?
How do you feel about your foul shooting? Do you feel like this is a good foul shooting team that's just not shooting?
Yeah, we shot 75% from the line. You'd like to make more, but it's not a terrible percentage, right?
There was that stretch where it was 1 to 2, 1 to 2.
Yeah, we kept splitting there. Trey split 3 in a row. And he had, and then Zach had at least one of those. Yeah, you get to the free throw line, you got to make them pay. But I thought we shot it well. We obviously shot it better than they did. But their ability to make threes was a big part of it. I don't want to take anything away from Boo because he was great. Langborg, if I'm saying his name correctly, I thought he was really good. For him, he really hadn't gotten going yet, but we obviously knew about him before and how good he was, and he could make pull-ups and make threes, and he hadn't gotten going. He made 6 threes in 6 games, and one of them was a banker. But we knew that, it was just a matter of time before he got going. We just didn't want it to be at our expense.
Do you feel like I think the last 7 minutes of the first half about nobody hit a field goal for you other than Zach?
Right.
You've got to have other guys step up and hit shots, and it seemed like you started out hot and then it just disappeared.
Yeah, but the one thing as a coach, you just want to generate good shots, right? You can't make the ball go in. And so as long as we're generating good shots and they don't go in, you want to be positive with your guys because they're taking good shots. When your guys are turning the ball over and taking bad shots, that's your issue. And every now and then you're going to generate good shots and then not knock them down. But that's what you just want to keep doing as a coach. So I thought we did a good job there. No one's trying to miss a shot, but 88 points is enough to win a game.
It seemed like you talked about the turnovers, but there was a stretch where you had 4 out of 5 possessions, I think, in overtime, and that's what killed you when you had a chance to really.
No question. A couple of those were the post feeds, and we got to be able to complete that. We got to get the ball where it needs to be. No different than what they're trying to do. They got to get the ball in the right hand. So do we.
You obviously don't seem happy with your defense. Just, is there something you put your finger on that really needed to be there tonight that wasn't?
Yeah, we fouled too much. They made some tough shots, but they just had too much separation on their floppy action. They were just getting the ball in the paint, way too much. And we got to find some guards that, can be two-way players, not just be offensive players. And not everything's going to go your way offensively, but you can rebound. But if your best guy gets 35 and 14 and you out-rebounded by 25, I'd like to think you should win. Maybe you guys don't believe that, but I do. So, you dominate the class like that. I thought the referees were fabulous. Thought they were great. They just called all the holds, they called the hooks and all. He's really hard to defend. And last year was just a football game and whatever, and then we weren't tough enough to win that one. And then we didn't have enough intestinal fortitude or whatever word you might want to use to get stops. And who cares if you're missing shots? Like, keep rebounding the basketball, but you got to be able to stop them. And we simply weren't able to do that.
How much did it contribute that they're playing kind of three smaller guards, right? That's something you guys would see a ton of big
I
teams.
thought the difference was boo-booey, but like, look at Langborg and Ty Berry. I don't take anything away from him. Damn, he was just as good. But like, when you play the game and you don't turn the ball over and you make shots, good things are going to happen. I mean, like, look at their percentages. I mean, like, look at them just total, like, together. Like there's not one guy, having a poor night. But even if they didn't turn the ball over, and that's what you want, right? You want guards that can make good decisions, and you want guards that can make shots. And I thought those three guys were really, really good. Like, give them credit. Like, this is the best game they've played all year. Like no question about that. But like, they've done this before. Like, don't act like this is right. Like, they have played this way. They've played this way against us. And when it gets dicey like that at the end, we didn't go to Honolulu and just blow people out. We beat three really good teams in the top 10, 12 in the country. But like, all three games could have went either way. Like, we have to be able to, in those games, like, make enough necessary plays defensively. They weren't high scoring games. And then like, these guys really exploited some things, with us. So you had a question, go ahead.
If they only turn the ball over 3 times, do you attribute that to their skill and like their guards, or do you feel like you weren't getting enough pressure on you?
Yeah, we're not a unbelievably high pressure team. I would say both, more going towards their ability to play. Like, they only average, I think, around 8 turnovers a game anyways, which I think 10, 12 years ago we averaged 7.8 and led the nation. So they're right around average, and if they stay there, they'll have a chance. With Michigan and John Beilein and Bo Ryan and Great Guard, and like, those guys, they always hovered right in there at 8.5. So these guys have done a good job. They have experience. Like, Langborg's played a lot, Ty Berry's played a lot, Boo-Booey's played a lot. I love Brooks Barnheiser. I love his, even though he didn't have a big time game, he's a really good player. He's a two-way player. He defends, he knows how to play. He plays hard. But I would say it's more of them, but we still had a hand in it, right? You gotta be able to, have active hands in whatever you're doing and make it hard on them. And get deflections and get steals, and especially when they show blood in the water, right? You don't want to gamble and get out of position, but it wasn't perfect basketball. You got to be able to have some active hands without fouling and generate some turnovers.
Was it, obviously you'll need to rewatch, but was it more execution than effort for you, especially on the defensive end?
Yeah, we just kept getting behind plays. Whether there were simple pin downs or it was ball screen defense, like, we kept encountering screens. Like, you can't run into screens. Like, you got to keep them from rejecting screens, push them over, then you can't run into it and then get behind. We veer off and switch things when they get deep. So that's what we really wanted to do with him, and our veers weren't very good. They were inconsistent. And we just got to do a better job. We got to clean it up.
Last one right here.
Coach, you talked about Northwestern's defense. You knew they were going to post trap, but did you anticipate the kind of hard hedging that all the bigs were doing back at the half
Yes.
court? And
Yeah.
how did that make it?
They started the game. Is a good question. They started the game in a drop a couple times, and then Braden's good in either one. Braden's a fabulous passer, and so we really want, when you get in that high hedge there, and they get up, and then he gets by him. Like, I thought he passed on a couple layups in the first half, and he kicked for threes. He literally had like a layup, and he made that pass. He's very unselfish sometimes to a fault. But no, I thought whether they were in a drop or we were getting what we wanted. Like, sometimes you can't look at, okay, they're playing good defense, we miss an open shot, right? We make shots, we're scoring 100 points here. Like, that's just happening. But that's part of the game, right? They made more shots than we did. They made some tough shots, so you got to give them credit for that. But no, I thought the way we were going to keep going back to something that wasn't working. Like, that was working. He's, they got to sell out to him. Obviously, he fouled out the whole team. They got to sell out to him. And if we played the game again, I wouldn't change anything offensively in terms of our, kind of schematic approach and how we're doing it. Now, defensively, we would have to, do a better job, because they were just kind of searching us out there at the end, just trying to play ISO basketball and having a lot of success. So, thank you
Thank you guys.
Yep.